Actually, I am talking about powerful document automation for Business Central, and not only Business Central. I would like to integrate some data from CE, for example, and also SharePoint, just to inform you about that. And actually, the weather in Vienna is very cloudy, and it was raining the entire day. So a great day for an online conference. And thank you so much, Raz, for having us, for inviting us. And I really like the community, the D365 community. And I'm looking forward to meet you all in person very soon. My name actually is Fabian Huber. I'm business technology evangelist here at the set document automation specialist, which is very nice. Thank you for that. Actually, I'm involved in a lot of projects regarding document automation, and there are different systems, and I know a lot about the problems from the customers and the pain points, and I really would like to share all this in this session with you and how you can pretty easy solve it as well. That brings me to the agenda. In the beginning, I really would like to show you quickly what is document automation, what kind of documents are we talking about, and then I quickly show you our company, an overview slide from our company, and then I would like from Docs42, of course, and then I would like to jump into the live demos. We will go to Business Central. Ras mentioned that a lot of attendees are using NAV. I will show you in Business Central, but I can promise you it works in NAV the same way as in Business Central. So there is no difference for us. And yeah, then we will integrate data from CE. That's the reason why I'm doing this is that because a lot of customers are requesting that they're using more systems, the Power Platform becomes more and more one. They're using different apps, and of course at the end they want to integrate data from different apps into one document, and this is then the reason why a lot of customers are requesting that. And I will show you how easily you can do this. And then I quickly go in a template design. I will change something. I will add a barcode or something, and then generate a document again from Business Central. Then you see you don't have to program. It is just 2-3 clicks, and you have your data differently defined. Then I have a Q&A slide, but you can always, as it is, yeah, you can always interrupt me. If you have a question, if something is not clear, just interrupt me. Or at the end, then we do it together with Raz, just have a quick Q&A. Good. What kind of documents are we talking about? So actually, a lot of people or a lot of customers are using these different systems. I just have some Microsoft systems, SharePoint, Dynamics CE, Business Central. Of course. Today is, I'm sorry? Okay. Perfect. So, and today is Business Central, Saturday. So of course, Business Central is very important. In all these ERP systems, you have structured data, and of course you need structured data to get your documents. And what kind of documents are we talking about? So there are a lot of possibilities. Most of the time you want to have documents in the hand of customers. They have to look great. So we are talking about invoices or a travel ticket, for example. So you see it here, there's job quotes is a very standard example for a structured document. And also emails could be a structured document. So if you attach your PDF, your quote, you have some other information included from your systems, then it would be a structured document as well. And what else? PowerPoint representations, of course, sales reports, all these kind of documents. You have the data in your system, and you want to have this data into your Office formats or into your PDF converted. And that's a very good scenario and good use case for Docs42. And the question, what do your customers, or what do the customers expect from you and from your documents? We had a lot of industries talking about food industry, finance industry, manufacturing. What are they expecting from your documents? And actually, they are expecting performance. They want beautiful documents. They want that you are the best. But actually, in reality, they want to have that you deliver the document very quick. Because just consider yourself, you want to have a sales quote for something, and you wait 1 week for the sales quote. That's not very good, because the competitors, they do that very quick. They have it in two hours, or maybe in 1 hour. And so they want to have the documents very quick delivered. And what do the customer else want? They want to have accuracy. So just I actually used to work in HR, and when I sent the contract, an employee contract to the new employee, and I copied some information from different systems, I did a lot of mistakes. That happens, you know, and it's not very nice if you get a contract from your new company where your date of birth is mixed with another one, or with your first name is mixed with another one. So that's very important that the documents are very correct. So that's really important. What else do they want? They want individuality. That's a very important, actually very important for all the customers, because if you get an email from a company where it said "Dear Sir / Madam," how do you feel? Do you feel addressed? Not really, right? So you want to have it like "Dear Fabian" or something. You want to have the individuality, and that's so important. And actually, that's very difficult to get. And yeah, I'll show you how you can individualize your documents later on. And the other thing is, of course, high quality. So if you have competitors, and we were talking about the finance industry, the manufacturing and retail, there are a lot of competitors. And if you need too long to generate or to copy paste your sales quotes together, then the competitors are quicker. And that's, yeah, it's a loss for you. And the other thing is, if the competitor delivers a better looking sales quote, you know, a huge sales quote with 20 pages or something, where the quality looks great and everything is looking good, then maybe the customer will select this one. So high quality is very important as well. And how does it work then in real life? What is my experience? I had a lot of meetings with a lot of customers, and what are they telling me? Of course, this is actually our biggest competitor, copy paste. The companies, the salesmen, they just copy paste all together from different data sources, and this is a very flexible and individual way to generate your document. That's true, but it is. So it's very time consuming, and if you do this 9 to 5, that you copy paste from different systems, and then something has to be changed, you have to do it again. It is not a good way to do it, and it costs a lot of time. So you should, as sales guy, you should concentrate on your clients and not on copy pasting from various systems or from different systems, and that's so important. So then you have some very good guys in the companies. They generated, or they bought, they created some VBAs, which is also very good because you have a very small level of automation. That's good, and you have a flexible and individual documents. The error reduction is there, that's true, but still it is on your client. It happens on your client. You don't have server-side automation. You can just generate very low numbers. And the other thing is, if you have a report or a document you want to generate with macros from, I don't know, 100 pages or something, then it lasts like hours. So it depends a little bit. So it means for me is at that end, we have a lot of customers. They just say, okay, I retire very soon. I bought all these, I created all these VBAs. Please, I need another solution because I cannot give it. This is not, the maintenance is not possible. I cannot give it to my employees. So there is then the other the other thing is that you have your standard SQL Server report services. You have server-side automation. That's great. It's 24/7 and performance. But now there comes the big but. These documents has to be designed, has to be programmed and actually designed by IT. This is not a flexible process if you want to generate your documents with the RDLC designer in NAV. You know, on all these events, I talk to the guys, and there's like this is the biggest pain to create a report in RDLC designer. So yeah, you will know why if you have done it once. So that's the reason, and why this is maybe not also the best way to do it. Good. This slide gives us just a quick overview about the technical options on the Microsoft platform. And there is in Office a lot of flexibility, and flexibility, we heard it before, I mentioned it before, is very important in the documents. When it comes to customers, design is very important. So you have Office, that's great, but there is no server-side automation, of course, and there you cannot integrate many data sources. And in the beginning, we talked about the apps. A lot of customers or companies are using different apps from the Microsoft platform, so they need many data sources. They have have different data sources and wanted them integrated into the document. And then there are other options, of course, the macros, but you see at the end, there's the SQL Server report, there's the server-side automation, but no flexibility, no code. Yeah, and Docs42 at the end, because you design documents in Office, you have all the possibilities here, and we have our Docs42 server, so you have server-side automation as well. It brings me to the slide. When it comes to document automation, you know these three guys. This is IT, you have business, and you have marketing most of the time. And marketing is responsible for the corporate identity of documents. And so all the colors, fonts, or whatever, this is most of the time marketing. Then you have the business departments. They are responsible for the content of the document. And then you have IT, and then try to combine all the data and all the wishes from these three or two departments. And yeah, and normally if it goes with RDLC designer or something else, you have to program every wishes, every changes has to be programmed, and that's very inflexible. And in the way how documents could be generated, and that's why the reason why we exist, because we said it wouldn't be better if these three guys work all at the same time on the documents. And this is completely possible because with Docs42, it is no code in document generation. You can integrate your data with no code. This could be the IT guy could integrate the data. Then business can insert the content, and then marketing can do adaptations by their own. And I will show that later how it works. And actually, that makes us very powerful in document generation. We are sitting, as I said, as I mentioned before, in Vienna. We are a sheer software developer. So if there are some partners now in the meeting, we are growing and extending. So if you're interested in the product, then just contact me all the time. We are growing our partner network as well, and we have 345 customers. And there is a little snippet from some of our reference customers. And actually, the most important thing is we don't have an industry focus. So if you everybody would like to generate documents and automate the process of document generation, and that's the reason why we have customers across all industries. And another USP is the design happens in Microsoft Office as well as PowerPoint, and you can integrate the data very flexible. So there are a lot of possibilities. SharePoint, you see even SAP, of course, then the other finance operations, PC, Dynamics, whatever. So there are a lot of possibilities to integrate data without programming. And the data output can be configured as you wish. Good. Yeah, funny. Somebody told me that there is a food and retail. Yeah, in the Teams chat, somebody mentioned that he's from retail and food. So here it is. That's actually Rewe is a huge German retail and supermarket chain, and that's enough NAV scenario here. It is set ERP, but it is an NAV scenario, and they're using Docs42. Actually, if you buy a milk or something from their own products, then it is ordered automatically with Docs42. So that's a little bit the scenario. And you see here on the left-hand side, Elena Schneider. She is from Transgourmet. That's also a food production and retail company, and they reached break-even point after just 4 weeks. So you see, you can save so many time if you don't copy paste the documents anymore, if you do and automate these processes. And there's another one, manufacturing, of course. So I just selected, in my experience, it's the same. I'm not the same because in the three industry, retail, manufacturing, and finance, this is in my experience very, very often this combination. I heard it often, and our customers are from these industries as well. So you see, ABB is in this case a CRM scenario, but it doesn't matter. It comes here of offers orders, so all the documents that have to be in the hands of the customers, they are important. That's a good Docs42 scenario, as well as employee contracts, for example. That's a good scenario as well. Yeah, you have your structured data source, and then you just click on the button, you add a new employee, click on the button, and get your document. So this is a good scenario. And these guys, they are using Docs42 for very interesting part because they automate Excel in a huge way. They have all the service report globally done with Docs42. And at the end, there's a 150-page PDF. And yeah, it looks with a lot of images integrated, a lot of calculations. So pretty cool scenario. Then how it works, as I promised, you do it in Microsoft Office. There's, in this case, it's a Word document. The first thing what you have an add-in here in your Word in this case, and can integrate your data then and connect it with the data map designer. And you have the blue data fields here, and you can format them as you want. So you see this first name, last name, this is text, Selena Bentley, and you do it like you used to do it in Word. So it's not a problem to create the layout and to do the correct font, for example. And then you can integrate images. That's very important, especially in NAV. It's required very often to integrate images into the sales quotes from NAV. We will see that, or from Business Central, of course. And there are some dynamic tables or conditions can be added. So, and then after designing, you can directly generate the documents from your platform. Okay, we are talking now from Business Central, but it doesn't matter. It could be another platform as well. It depends on your requirements. So you can just, you're pretty flexible on where you click the button, and that's the reason I will show you that later. So here it gives us a quick overview which kind of data sources we can integrate out of the box, and we see the SQL database, of course, web services, Excel, which mentioned before, SharePoint, online, on-premise, XML, JSON, SAP, and here is the entire Dynamics platform. And it is very important to mention, it doesn't matter if it's on-premise or online. We know we could do both. So for us, it doesn't play any role. And finance operations, finance supply chain, and Accepta. So it really doesn't matter. And there is another custom data source. So if you use different systems, which are not shown here on this slide, we can connect them as well and integrate them without programming into your Office templates. Good. Then output, of course, can be configured as you want. PDF is very often, but also PowerPoint, I mentioned it before, and Word, Excel. Of course, then you can store it to SharePoint. The Teams integration, of course, you can generate documents directly from Teams if you want. So this is, I guess my colleague Lisa will do a webinar or do the next session in collaboration, and we'll show that. So there are a lot of possibilities as well in collaboration to generate and to work on the documents together. And yeah, email action, there is a DocuSign partnership, and printer that might be interesting for NAV customers. So printer actions can be configured, and there's a custom output action. So if you use a document management system or something, then of course we can send the documents directly there as well. Yeah, that's cloud or not cloud. It doesn't matter. We have a cloud service, but that's Docs42 Online is our cloud service, but also we have an on-premise service. So if Docs42 is an IaaS web service, technically spoken, so you can just do it on premise on your existing server if you have one. If you say cloud only strategy, then just use our Docs42 cloud service. And yeah, pretty proud. We have the two apps, 365 Performance Data Source and the 365 Performance Documents, Docs42 Documents app in the data source. This is from our partner company, BSH. They are actually they are developers from that, and they are right now in the app store, so you can download them. And I quickly show them in the demo as well. Yeah, where they are and how they be configured. And Flow is, a lot of customers also are talking about Flow. So here you see Dynamics CE logo. It doesn't matter. So it also works, of course, with Business Central on premise. So if you just need to create a customer connector, the Docs42 custom connector, and then every flow can trigger the Docs42 online service and generate your document if you want that. So that's possible and pretty easy to configure. Good. That brings me actually to the live demo, and yeah, I will quickly go to the Business Central. In our case, it's a Business Central on-premise environment. It's a Hyper-V, and I will just show you a job quote, and that job quote integrates data from Dynamics 365 CE, and then we go quickly in the template design. I open the template, I will change something, and after that, I would like to go quickly into CE and just generate from there one document to show you that it doesn't matter. We can integrate your the button, the call button, wherever you want, and that's important because a lot of customers are requiring. Now I have a customer, they want to generate the document from CE but integrate invoice data from Business Central. So I just want to show that both is possible without any problems. Good. Then let me open my demo environment and firstly refresh it. Good. So this is actually my. Let me quickly open the extensions page. So this is where you install your apps, extension management, and that shows that here are our two apps installed. That's the data source app. Data source app, just that's a connector to receive the data, to get the data into our Word document. And then we have the document data, the 365 Performance Docs42 Documents app. This is this one here. And yeah, you see there are some other apps to install. And this app is actually exactly this interface, what you can see here. This is where you configure which kind of documents you want to generate with Docs42, because sometimes internal reports or something, that standard is perfect then for that. But if you want to generate a quote or something else, what has to be look good, has different data sources, then you can configure it here and decide which kind of documents you want to generate with it. And you see, I just configured one, that's a job quote, and we have two templates integrated. So just to inform you about that. Good, then let me go to the job quote. I select here jobs, and I have three jobs here. You see there's one that's in English, one conference room, then the other two are German. This is just the reason that you see that you can, of course, depending on the language code of your customers, automatically the correct template will be drawn and then the document will be generated correctly. So in this case, we have our conference room here. And before I generate now with Docs42, I would like to show you the standard report. So if I click here on report, there is I can preview this job quote and I just print it here. And then you see how this looks like normally. So this is a standard job quote with some products here, some positions here. It actually looks not very nice, but sometimes it is okay. It really depends in which hands it comes. So now I would like to show you how the Docs42 document looks like. So there's another tab here, the Docs42 action button, so I can generate directly my document. And I configured just a PDF return action. So I just will get the document generated and a PDF as return. And in this case, all this, the information also from Dynamics CE will be integrated into the document. So here it is, and it looks like this. I zoom a little bit out here. So you see, this is an image. This is stored in Business Central or NAV. It doesn't matter. This information also comes. All this information comes from Business Central. Then you have the contact person, Business Central, of course, the name of the job. This is a sales part that could be a fixed text block. It depends. Could be, but it doesn't have to be. Then we have an image for this conference table integrated. Then there is the team members. The team members also, they are coming from Business Central, and the images, of course. Then I go further down. You see here, this is the job structure and pricing. This is all the information here from Business Central. And then if I go further down, you see this product table. This is the information from CE, and I will show you that later. And just remember the conference shares, there are 20 conference shares, and I will change that later on and generate it again. And then you will see that we draw the data directly live from the system then. So I go further down, you see this is portrait mode, and here is landscape mode. And this landscape mode contains a PowerPoint presentation. So there's a mistake. The chair has to be supposed to be here, so I will fix that, and you see it is effective then immediately. And now I go further down. Now the jump again to portrait mode, and this one is the general terms and conditions, is a PDF at the end. Good. Then I would like to show you quickly the other one. That's the German one. Now I expect a German quote. So I click here on Docs42 Actions, generate the document again here in Business Central, and we will open this one. So you see different customer, German. This is very German here, I promise you. And it is a different image, of course, a different job, and that table is differently. So you see we have then, you can integrate dynamic tables. So if you have 100 products there, then all the 100 products will be listed. And this is all without programming then. And here there are different products, different system, yeah, and of course different PowerPoint presentation. Good. So now I would like to show you, I just generated these two, and now I will open the template quickly and show you how it works. And let me quickly go back. And before I do this, no, okay, let me go. I go to template, there's no problem. So I open this one here, and here we have the templates on our server, but you can store them wherever you want. You just have to tell Log4j where the template is. And we recommend, of course, using SharePoint Online, for example, or SharePoint, and that's a good place to store your templates, and also to do the permissions correctly, that only people work in the template who really have the add-in and knows how they do. So, but in this case, we have it on the server. It is completely up to you where you want to have it. And it is, as I promised, a Word document. But first, I would like to show you the PowerPoint presentation. And this one is here in the folder. And this PowerPoint presentation as well could be on SharePoint, store wherever you want. So I open this one, the ground plan. I quickly change this one and put the chair on the correct in the correct place. So now we will save this and close this one. And then I go back to here. This is the terms and conditions, just to show you that's the PDF which we added at the end, just to show you that we can add entire documents and PDFs and whatever you need. And here, this is my job quote template Word, as we promised. And it looks like this. Shame on me, this is unfortunately still in German, but of course we have it in English as well, so sorry for that. But actually it doesn't really matter, because you have the add-in here, and the add-in has the data map designer, and the data map designer, that's the heart of your document. This is where you connect all your data. And I won't go too deep into detail. I just quickly show you, we connected Excel data, you see Business Center, NAV, report data, even the data from reports can be integrated. And there is our CE data source. So this is our Dynamics data source, and here would be SharePoint. So you can connect whatever data you need here, and here you do the filtering and the correct order. This is maybe you need for a little bit IT know-how for that. But after that, you have the data map, you have the data field explorer on the right-hand side, and you have your data field explorer here, and then you can integrate data into your document wherever you want. So what I would like to do now, I would like to add a barcode, and I would like to change the color of the color of the font here. So let me take, for example, the job numbers should be included as barcode, because barcodes, a lot of customers, especially in these industries, requiring barcodes in your documents. So here I take the number, the project number, I drag and drop it here, and now this new data field is included. And what I have to do now is I just have to define it as a barcode. So there you can see you can define it as numbers, images, date times. I guess that was a question again, so as well. So you can format your data fields here. You see Word documents, PDF, whatever you need, but we want to have a barcode. And we add some dimensions here. And here you see is the QR code. So there are 40 barcodes out of the box. For everyone is there something most of the time. Here it is. I just leave it with the QR code here, and I click OK. And now the job number is defined as barcode. And here we wanted to change the color. That's the contact person. Megan Bond is her name. So I want to have this one in, let me say, green. Green is good. And we need a different, let's take this one, different font. So now actually this Megan font will be, Megan Bond is her name, will be in a different font. And that's it. And what you can always do is you can generate your documents locally. And this is what I'm doing right now. I just click here on generate. And now I can generate the job code number 10, for example. And here are some input parameters. So I just generate here, because I can dynamically read other team members in this case, for example. So yeah, let me do this. So you will notice that there is now 2 women as team members. And now I generate the document and have a look how it looks like. Good. Barcode is there. And you see this funny font here, and Megan Bond, it's her name. So this is immediately effective. And if I go further down, there is now a new team member. It's a lady, this one here, I guess. And yeah, let me put the template and the document side by side so you see what actually happened. So here is the template on the right hand side, and you see this here is an image, but there is a condition around it. So you can add conditions and can say, if there is an image, integrated; if there's no image, just leave it blank. So then your layout will be not affected in this case. Then we go further down, you see this information, it comes everything here. This is a fixed text block, that's the description field, the conference room. Here are our team members. And then the image is integrated. This one is an image, and then you have to tell Docs42 that's an image. So you just say, okay, here type image. And then we go further down, and you see actually in the template there's only one line for the products, and then we say repeat for data source. So that's all the structure and pricing job task numbers will be repeated here. Then on the next page, you see here you see the products, and these products, they are coming from CRM, and I just promise you that if I double tap here, then the data field explorer is opening, and you see this is from the products information from CRM. I don't know if it makes sense that the products are stored in CRM, but it's just a demo for demo reasons. I have it here. And also the entity image you see is from CRM. So it doesn't matter for us. You just have to tell where it is. You have to combine it, and then it will be integrated. And here is the total sum, and that I just do it for demo reason as well. It sums the products from CRM and the job structure here from Business Central together and makes the total sum. But of course, you could solve that differently. And then if I go further, you see there is also the PowerPoint is fixed yet, and there's just one data field. That's a PowerPoint. You can just edit here, say PowerPoint where it is, tell Docs42 where it is, and then it will be integrated here. And the same with the PDF. Okay, I changed something now, and now I would like to generate it directly in Business Central to show you that it's effective immediately. So I close this one here. This is my template. I save it first and close it. And what I'm doing next again is I want to change something in CRM. I want to change the product. So I open my CRM here quickly, and this is the job number 10. These are the 3 products here, and I would like to say it is just 15 products. For example, we save this one here, and I go back into my Business Central environment. And I will generate the quote again, and you will see I don't have programmed anything. I don't have copy pasted anything. I can directly generate my quote again. I have the truth in my system. So let me go here into the job card. So I also can show you if I change here something, let's say approval is test. So I add here something. Now I'm happy with everything. It is saved, and I can generate the report and my here directly from the job card as well. So there are my Docs42 actions generated. And then we will see, I expect now the barcode, the different font, the different color, and a different, just 15 chairs for the conference room. Here it is, the barcode is included, the different font sizes here and color. And now let me go further down. Approval test, of course, this is included because we always read the data live from the system. And this is always good because then you have the truth in your system. And here now, if I zoom a little bit in the conference chair, it's just only 15 in total. Good. So what I would like to show you now is I would like to show you how you configure the apps. Just very quick. This is the interface. This is the administrator for our document app, a Docs42 365 performance document app. And you see, you just say which document do you want to generate. Do you have the job code here, and we call it job. And then there is the document configuration, where you actually tell the system which kind of template should be drawn. And here we say German, take always the German template. Otherwise, just in case if the customer is English, United States, for example, from the language code, then please draw the English one. So you have seen that before. This is what you configure here. Then you just tell here the app where your template is stored, and here in my case it's on my server. And then the next thing is the output configurations. We had it very easy just with show PDF, but let me add a new one, for example. Then here you add a code, say SharePoint, for example, and here you have different output actions such as print, save action, of course, SharePoint or email. You can group them. Yeah, you can do mail merge as well, of course. Their bulk letters is not a problem to generate. At a given point, a given time, generate the documents, the reports, and send it automatically via email, for example. So this is the output configuration, and then of course you just not only have to configure the action button, and you have to tell it where do you want to have an action button. Very flexible. We said in our job card number 89 and in the overview from the job card, so we have the two possibilities to generate the documents, and that's it actually. So pretty easy to configure everything without any coding. Good. So just let me have a look at the time. I would like to show you now the opposite. I would like to quickly jump into CE to generate a document there. It actually doesn't contain any data from Business Central, but it contains data from SharePoint, and that shows the flexibility just to show you how easily you can do it. I open another quote. That's the sales solar panels. That's here now in CE, and this solar panels, they just let me quickly do this. So now it's supposed to disappear. Okay. So we have some information here, some product information, but in this quote also the problem is that there are, for example, a SharePoint, a collaboration tool where you have calculations, there's an Excel file that should be included, then you have an advertisement, for example, you have a Word document, and you have a presentation. And now that's the point, could be data from Business Central, some invoice data, some other information, but you want to generate the documents from CE because you are working in CE the most of the time. You want to generate your quote or wherever you want to generate here. That is no problem because we are fully integrated in CE as well. There's an app where we just can click the button, and here you see different actions as well. I just generate this quote quickly. I have to log in again. So I just generate the quote quickly that you see how easily and how flexible you are with the integration from your system. So there is the quote right now, and it contains here this is coming from SharePoint, as we said. This is coming from CRM, the product information, and this is the Excel file which is stored in SharePoint. So you can combine your data source, you can collaborate very well and work on your quotes or whatever you need, what kind of documents you want to generate, pretty easy. And there's a PowerPoint presentation, of course. So platform independent, and all the data sources can be integrated without programming. Good. So let me just actually have a look. Just one more thing, the last thing, the SharePoint action I haven't shown you because a lot of customers are using the SharePoint action. So I can generate the quote and store it directly to SharePoint, but also Flow could do this. So I've clicked here on SharePoint, then the quote will be generated and directly stored in SharePoint, of course. And you can even do it that you send it via email directly and store it to SharePoint. So there are a lot of possibilities as well. Let me show you that, and I have to refresh it here a few seconds ago, and then you see there is the quote, there's the quote ID, so you can write metadata as well. Good. That was very quick. A lot of functionality. Let me quickly jump back into the presentation because I have a summary slide for you. So to show you what can you do if you automate your documents. Of course, you save a lot of time, and you know time is money. Actually, the most important thing is that you can concentrate on your core competencies again if you don't have to copy paste or don't have to cumbersome create your documents anymore. Then, of course, individuality is very important, and if you have Microsoft Office as your designing option and designing tool for your documents, then you could be very individual and you can create very good looking documents. And of course, we said PowerPoint, Excel, and Word. So yeah, be creative, do your documents however they should look like. And flexibility, which is very important. Just for the summary, you can generate from Business Central, you can generate from CE, you can generate from Finance and Operations, or wherever you want to generate the documents, and you can integrate all these different data sources because they will be without programming, of course. So this is you're very flexible in the way to generate the documents. And yeah, many data sources, which is also a USP from us. And yeah, at the end, if you have all these properties, then you're very happy. You can do the little winning dance here. And that brings me to the Q&A. And let me just say just 2 more words. The upcoming FinOps Saturday, Johannes will do the finance operations. He is the expert for finance operations in Docs42, and Lisa, my colleague, will do the collaboration Saturday. And yeah, we're looking forward about that. And there is just some information about the website. So if you just take the barcode, and now I'm ready for your questions.
Thank you so much, Fabian. There are questions coming through. Dan has asked, how can they schedule a report via email? How can they send and schedule a report via email?
Okay, so you do this in Business Central, and you just have a scheduler there, and you can say every Wednesday at 12 o'clock should be sent this kind of report, and then this schedule triggers Docs42 and then generates on all Wednesdays the emails with live data from that moment.
I hope that's answered your question, Dan. And Binesh is asking, which software is used to connect the Word to Business Central? Is there an API? Binesh is asking.
Okay, actually, it is the data source app. So we have seen the 365 performance data source app and the documents app. The documents app, that's the app which is in Business Central or in NAV integrated. And the data source app also is in NAV integrated. And this data source app, that's the connector to our add-in. And if I open here a Word document, for example, you will see there is the add-in, and just let me quickly open this one here and open the data map designer. And then it is the part of the product that you have the possibility here to add your NAV table, for example, or NAV report. You just click here, and then you can integrate your data and select the data fields you need, and of course select which table you want to integrate, and then you have all the data fields listed. So there is not an external app or an APV, it's actually the part of the product from Docs42. The NAV integration is already there.
Great stuff. There is a question by Oliver. He's asking, can you tell more about the cost and where to see the price list?
Yes, I can tell you something about the cost. The thing is, it very much depends on the scenario. It's Docs42 is so you can start modular. You can start with one Word add-in, for example, that costs 490 euros. It's a one-time fee, but if it comes to server-side automation, and if you want to have Word, Excel, PowerPoint, and if you want to have CE and Business Central, then there are different modules. So it's modular pricing. So I really recommend that you just send me an email, and I will connect you, and we can discuss the pricing depending on your scenario, and I will give you the price list then. Because yeah, I cannot tell it right now. It starts from 490 euros, can be 20,000 euros. It really depends on your scenario.
So you've got a free trial there, haven't you, Fabian?
Yes, that's completely true. As it's shown here, we have a free trial, 30 days for free. For Business Central, it is actually not that quick. With SharePoint and the other things, you can immediately start. With the Business Central, we need to know your system, and then we create your apps, and then you get the app, and then you can trial. But actually, it is not a problem. We will do this, and then you can do it by your own. But the add-in, you can download it, and you can start directly. And we have also sample templates included, so you can really start to integrate some data, just play with Excel data instead of BC, for example, and then you see how easily it works.
All right, so for Oliver, I've shared your email address, Fabian, in the chat window. So people can contact you if they want more information. And yeah, that's great. So anywhere else? There's another question. David is asking, can you bulk email documents, e.g. month-end statements from Business Central, where you might send 1,000 at a time?
Yeah. So actually, we have a customer, and there will be reference customers in very soon, because of the reason they generated a report that was 12,000 pages, 12.4 thousand pages, and with just one click, all the invoices in one report, and it is not a problem. So actually, this, if it's 1,000 emails per time, there will be from the server, there will be a waiting line, and then all the emails will be sent directly afterwards. So, and the server, the performance of the server from Docs 2 is 120,000 documents per hour are possible without any problems. So the answer is yes, it is possible.
And another question is it possible to send a report encrypted with an open key certificate? So that's quite a complex question, I have to admit, Fabian.
Yeah, I understand. Actually, so our output actions are the Office formats, of course, and PDF. And that's it, actually. I don't know if there is a tool which can encrypt these features somehow, or we can put it to a web service which is possible to do this, then it is possible. But in standard, it is not possible. But as I said, we have a custom output action. That's one of our output actions. And maybe there could be something configured like this. But I have to admit, I'm not 100% the technical guy. I'm more or less the business guy. But still, I understand technical parts. And I'm not 100% sure if this is possible out of the box.
Yeah, it seems as though that's more of an email delivery question. So I know that there's email services that take care of the encryption.
That's the point, yeah.
Yeah,
I see the same. I see the same point. Yeah.
So you probably need to combine that with the document automation. But it'll be interesting I guess just get in touch with Fabian, and I guess he can help you set up a demo and test that feature really.
That's very true, and it's highly appreciated, and we really would like to. Yeah, also all the partners out there, if there's a partner interested in the feature, just let me know and we can discuss the partnership as well.
Yeah, we have another question. So is it possible to set a predefined name of export to Excel file as per a predefined formula? So is it possible to set a predefined name of an export to Excel file as a predefined formula? So I'm guessing what you're asking there is, can you pre-populate the Excels based on a formula? Could you share a bit more information about that?
Yeah. Thank you, Russ. Yeah, because I'm not 100% sure what this question is about.
Yeah, if you could provide some more information, that'd be really, really helpful. Like a scenario, and then maybe obviously Fabian can explain how it would work.
But just in general, of course, we can export data into an Excel file as well. That's not a problem, but I'm not 100% sure about the naming. But yeah, so you can export data with Docs4D as well from Business Central into Excel files. That's no problem.
Great stuff. So again, it seems though that there have been quite a lot of questions about the document automation aspect. So there must be a very big requirement for that. And to be honest, Fabian, here's another one. It says when you export a report in an Excel file, the Excel file name should be automated. Like we need to rename it. So they want to be able to rename the file of the Excel. Basically, that's what they're asking.
Yes. So yes, the answer is yes. You can define the naming based on data feeds from your system as well, from the Excel file. That's not a problem. So I have it open here again. So you see here the set quote solar panels. Okay, that's very bad example, but it could be quote ID directly the quote ID. So you can use metadata or data fields for the naming from your exported files. Not a problem.
Great stuff. And yes, look, it does seem like a very, very powerful tool. Often when people trying to use out of the box kind of, document generation, there's a lot of limitations. And so it was really interesting to see how powerful this tool really is.
Yeah.
And often it's a case where, a consultant might be able to use the out of the box and kind of string something together. But what about the customer? It's the customer at the end of the day that needs to use this application to be able to build their documents and their reports as how they need to. And it should be designed in such a way that's low code. That's interesting that you mentioned that is is it no code or is it low code?
Actually, it's no code. Actually, it's no code, but you have the possibility, if you want, that you add dynamic fields and add a little bit code. But that's actually not very often the case. But it is, let's say, it is no code, but you have the possibility to add some code if you want.
Right. Okay. Great. So again, like I said, sometimes you don't want your customers constantly asking you how to do this, how to do that. And just being able to do simple tasks of creating these documents, and so I can definitely see where there's value here in empowering the customer themselves to be able to create this degree of powerful document automation. So yeah, that's very, very interesting, and it's a very what I like about this is the fact that you can it's more focused. Oh, there's another question here. Dan has said, do you have a module for dynamic CRM 365 on-premise? On-premise.
Yes, of course. It is. I had it here in the slide before. It doesn't matter for us if it's on-premise or online. So let me just quickly open this one. So you see here Dynamics and then CE CRM, and it doesn't matter for us. It looks like this. You have your Word in, and then you just click on the CRM data source. You connect to your CRM, and then it works immediately. So let me open again the data map designer. I click here on CE, CRM, you see it is the same data source for online or on-premise, and there's just a URL, username, password, could be encrypted, of course, could be Azure Active Directory. So a lot of possibilities to connect to your data, and then you can read data fields, just tick the checkbox and then integrate the data. And yeah, Lisa will do then I don't know when the date is exactly, but in the collaboration Saturday, she will have a deep dive into the CRM tool.
Great stuff. Chris is saying many thanks. Good tool.
Thank you very much. I appreciate that. And just to sum up about that, what you said before, Ras, in my experience, I see always the same, that it is more or less always the citizen developer. In a company, there are always some tech guys, and they also in the business departments, and they want to do it by their own. They don't want to call all the time a consultant or somebody else to do everything by their own. The implementation, of course, maybe that's a part of consultancy and service, but then just the template, to adapt the template or to change something in a template, that's very good if the companies can do that by their own. And yeah, therefore the tool is pretty cool.
So Chris is saying, is it possible to automate creating and mailing PDF files easily based on manufacturing data? So imagine you have the manufacturing data available. Can you then automate that? So obviously you've already taken care of automating the documents. How about automating the actual delivery of the PDF files? And I know what you're going to say, because I've seen a demo that you've done with Flow. I'm guessing is that what you're going to say? Get me a Fabian. But yes, what's your answer to that?
If it's a flow connector, and if there is manufacturing data change something, for example, and then
he's not actually saying there's a flow connector.
Okay.
Sorry, I was kind of being a bit preemptive there, but what he's saying is that he wants to automate based on the data. So right now, what you've shown is physically creating the data. Yeah.
Okay. Of course, you can integrate the data based on data and add conditions regarding the data. That's possible, but the generation, to trigger the generation process based on the data, I'm not sure if this is possible out of the box, but as we said, could be a workflow or something else which triggers then docs42 and generates this specific data. So that wouldn't be a problem. But out of the box, based on changing data, something has to trigger the process, the generation process of docs42. And if it's a flow, a CRM flow, if it's a Power Automate or whatever, then but somebody has to trigger it, or if it's a button. And then of course the data that will be integrated.
Yes. So the way flow works, basically, it should work. So if you've got a trigger on your manufacturing data, that should be enough for flow to actually trigger and send it. Chris, quick question. Chris is carrying on. He's saying customer does need it for drawings on the shop floor. So, for example, a PDF needs to be sent to different printing centers. So that's the scenario. So I think what Fabian is saying, Chris, is that as long as the data exists, you could. I don't know what version of Business Central or Dynamics you're using, Chris, but if you've got access to Flow, which is part of Dynamics, you could actually trigger. You can actually have triggers off the back of your data, and that should be enough to actually deliver it and to actually generate the documents. Yes. I know because I've seen a session you've done in the past, Fabian. That's why I know that was possible. I've seen someone from your, I think someone called Christian did a demonstration of Flow with docs42. And I think that's what was the scenario. I think
it's completely true. It's completely true. So here there's the flow connector as well included. So if I change something here in my quote, this is done manually, of course, and click on the save button. And now in the background, this flow will be triggered, will be regenerate the document here with the 20% discount and store it to SharePoint. That's how we configure the flow. So this is not a problem, and it's pretty easy if there is a flow that exactly does that what you want with your Business Center manufacturing data.
Great stuff. So I've shared docs42 their profile on LinkedIn. I've also shared Fabian's email address. Get in touch with him directly if you have any other questions related to this. I know there's many questions related to this, or feel free to chat to him on the chat window if you like. So again, thank you so much. Fabian, do you have any last words in the last 2 minutes? Do you have any final words?
No, thank you so much. Thank you for all the interest and the questions in particular. And Res, I'm really looking forward to meeting you guys in person very soon.
Yes, so that's right. So normally, I forgot to mention. So normally at our in-person events, docs42 actually give away prizes. So what we've said is what we've agreed with is that for the next event, so the FinOps event, we're going to be giving away a prize.
Great.
Yeah. So that's a thing that everyone misses out on. We all miss your Star Wars prizes and things like that. So we're all big fans of that. So what we've agreed is that we're going to do that. So for the next one, for the next event, next week's, we're definitely going to be having some prizes to give away. Yes. So thank you again, docs42, for sponsoring and supporting us in that. And we look forward to that for the next event.
Great. Thank you so much.
Thanks again, Fabian.
And all the best, guys. See you.
Thank you. Okay.